I just wanted to give my thoughts on the iPod version 2.0 hardware, not the software. The software is currently up to version 2.1, um, which incidentally, um, this is essentially 2.1. You can see it's not different at all from 2.0. The only real major difference is if we go into music, this option for the Genius playlist has been added. The Genius playlist allows you to synchronize with the Apple server, and it will go ahead and say, oh, people who liked your music also like this, this, and this, and you have this, this, and this in your playlist. Would you like to create a playlist from this? And basically that's how that works. Other than that, you can take a look at my iPhone 2.0 software video that was added back in July. Just search for that iPhone 2.0 software, and you can take a look at a full review on that. The main purpose of this video is my thoughts on the iPod Touch version 2.0 hardware. They really didn't do an awful lot to it. They say that it's been made thinner, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look thinner. Now, understand that I have yet to see it in person. Once I do see it in person, that might change my mind. But if you're coming from iPod Touch hardware 1.0 and you are running software version 1.0, do you need to upgrade? The answer is no. You do not need to upgrade, because the upgrade to version 2.1 is $10 versus having to buy a whole new iPod Touch for roughly $300. And if you want to get something back to where you feel like you didn't pay much of anything, you'd have to go through the trouble of selling it on eBay, finding a buyer for it. I think it would just be a lot cheaper just to get the upgrade. And again, it's only $10 to upgrade to version 2.1. It's the exact same software as you'll find on the new iPod. The only real changes they've made to the iPod Touch second generation hardware is the addition of the volume controls and the addition of the external speaker. Cosmetically, they upgraded the look a little bit to make it a little bit flashier. But really, the way I look at it is this: if you have an iPod Touch 1.0 hardware, then you want to go ahead and upgrade to the 2.1 software at $10. If you don't have an iPod Touch yet, go ahead and get the new one. But if you have an iPod Touch already, just go ahead and upgrade. It's a lot cheaper, and you'll get exactly the same stuff if you were to buy a new iPod anyway. In fact, if you don't believe me, go into an Apple store and see for yourself, and you can talk to an associate. I'm pretty sure he will tell you the exact same thing. If you were to upgrade your first generation iPod Touch, you will get the exact same software as you would if you were to buy a brand new unit. So unless you have a real need for that external speaker or the side volume controls, I wouldn't bother upgrading to the new hardware. And for those of you who want the new software, basically this look, in particular the App Store here, but you don't want to have to spend the money for a new unit. Like, for example, you want to get a first generation used now that you know that the first generation iPod Touch can accept the 2.1 hardware, 2.1 software. Since you don't have the side volume controls, how do you work the volume control? Well, what you can do is you double tap the home button, and that is your volume control, your play forward and reverse, and your option to either close this or go directly into the music. And if you tap music, it just takes you directly into the music. So again, this is just my thought, but if you have a version 1.0 iPod Touch hardware, not necessarily, and you're running version 1.1 of the software, just upgrade to version 2.1. It's only $10, and it's a quick download. It'll take you, I think it took me about a half hour to upgrade from start to finish, because there are a lot of processes that are involved. The biggest thing for me was backing up all my information. It'll back up your information, store it, upgrade the operating system, add the new features, and reinitialize your iPod to factory defaults, but also restore your iTunes library from scratch. and when I say from scratch, what I mean is what it's going to do is it's going to take your iPod library, back it up, delete the iPod software, upload the new software, install it, and then put your library back on right where it was. Everything will be nice and snug. So again, version 2.1 of the hardware, the second generation iPod Touch. If you have the first generation hardware, I would not upgrade. I would not get the new one. If you lack the funds to purchase a second generation iPod Touch brand new, then you can go ahead and get a used first one on eBay. Just upgrade the software. Like I said, it'll only cost you $10. And now you know, I don't have the volume controls. How do I access my volume? Because I don't have the volume controls on the side of the iPod Touch second generation. You now know how to do that. So that's just my opinion on it, but it's just somebody said in a review for the second generation iPod Touch, a CNET video, a commenter had said that they felt that they were gypped, and I told them that they were not, because the first generation iPod Touch can accept the version 2.1 software upgrade. And again, if you were to put your version 1 iPod Touch with the software upgrade right next to a version 2.0 iPod Touch with the second generation hardware, you would see that with the exception of the cosmetic upgrade and the volume controls and the external speaker, it's literally the exact same thing. So I would say save yourself some cash and just do the software upgrade if you have a first generation iPod Touch. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice evening.